Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the From the Back Tees podcast, a podcast from the Back Tees. I'm your co-host, Jerry Lou, and with me, as always, is our founder and my co-host, Zach Pencer. Zach, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm all right. Don't nobody worry about me. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about some fun stuff we saw on TV in terms of typos, and we saw some wildlife on the LPGA Tour when everyone else was watching almost grown men basketball. We'll talk about last week's Valspar tournament, and then next week's WGC Dell Technologies match play tournament, Zach's favorite tournament of the year, save for a major, I'm sure. And we're going to scrap the Masters talk and the listeners' questions and just get straight into some fun U.S. and Canadian facts. Have a little bit of fun because we want to keep this tight this time. But Zach, what you been up to lately? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. So, not too much, I guess. Prepping for some Masters research as well as, like you said, my favorite tournament of the year. It's a nice, unique format down in Austin.
Since when did they do the group play? Because I know I was asking you about how it goes. I wasn't too familiar, because I just wasn't paying attention. But, I mean, I remember it used to be very old-fashioned and just like straight-up match play.
Yeah, back when Tiger was dominating, it was a little different.
Yeah.
I think it's been the last
More or less.
3 years they changed the format a little bit, but it's not too different. Still head-to-heads. Just they have these groups, 16 groups.
I hate to say it, I'm still that guy who tunes in the fourth quarter, the ninth inning, the Sunday, the final round. That just seems to be the time when you'll get 100% of my attention, absolutely. But the stuff leading up to it, as much as I love it, I really just don't. It never captivates my active attention. Like, I'll follow it on my phone. I'll look it up like later in the day if I want to look it up, or like I'll go on Twitter. But ultimately, when it comes to action, I save my eyeballs and my brainstem till the end. Really, I mean, it's almost like Augusta. It's just like call me when they like hit the turn and they're at the back nine. It's like, all right, now it's time to watch. Like,
this one definitely. If you just want to see the winner, there's not much point in watching Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday. There's so much work to do. I guess the big reason I like it is I guess I don't see Tiger that much, especially when he was in his peak. I didn't see him that much. So now, especially this match play, I'm assuming they're going to have Tiger basically nonstop on TV and no one else will get any shine.
Quite possibly. I mean, I just, what I love the most about it is it's match play, which is, if golf is estimated to be started sometime in the 16th century, so we'll just call it about 500 years old, but for the first 400 years of it, it stayed on this little island over in Europe, and they mostly just played match play because that's just what it was. And thanks mostly to America and making medal play and stroke play and playing the field what it is, which works for the way times are and the modern way we play golf and air it on TV as well in that marriage. Ultimately, match play to me is the most elegant form of sports. It's like in tennis, it's one-on-one. It's one-on-one. It's one-on-one, which really doesn't. It can play to your strengths and weaknesses so much, and it's like not at all certain times. I mean, it's almost like alternate shot when you're playing with somebody. Like, you think you'd want to strategize with somebody, but in the end, it's so hard that you should just go out there and just try to play your best. Anyways, what say you?
Yeah, for sure. I think the ones who win it seem to just be the ones who play the best more than overthinking things. But
and
I rambled on a little. But
sorry to cut you off, but Nolan, did you just hear what he just said? So call me chalky if you want to. I'm fine with that. That's just the way the ball bounces in the algorithm, honestly. And as I was telling Zach, God forbid I picked the upper seed in most of the matches, and you know what? That's never happened before. So
did you take any underdogs?
Look, I didn't. I swear to God, I didn't know who I picked until he messaged me back, and he said the only underdog I have was Brooks Koepka losing to Rory McIlroy in the consolation match.
Jeez, that's like the guy who
I just was churning through the matches.
That's the guy who takes every favorite in March Madness except for one
easy
round of 32 upset.
Easy, settle down, you. It wasn't that at all. I was literally looking at each. I did 2 brackets this morning, and because I had to start over in the middle of one, because I had to retool and go back to my roots of how I was going about who I was picking. But we can get into that later.
Yeah, how many
Oh,
many
goodness.
favorites do you think won their pod last year?
Oh, I have no
Of the
idea. I mean,
16.
I've always made my own personal bracket, but I never did it with anybody in terms of like actually filling out a bracket. Like I just make predictions, and going back to the fact that it's match play, you never know. I mean, you
Yeah,
just never know.
only
So
5 moved on of the 16.
see,
Yeah,
okay, there you go. There, I didn't know you had an answer chambered.
no, I had it. I'm always ready.
Oh, good, good. I like that stuff. So we saw a couple funny things on TV this week, or at least I like to say I saw them. I'm not saying I'm the first to report stuff, but I'm very lucky in that when Phil Mickelson swatted his ball around on the green in the U.S. Open, I happened to turn on the TV literally 5 seconds before that happened, and I was just kind of like, "Oh, Phil's putting! Oh my God!" Just like, what was that? And I swear to God, you did you see this, Bob? I mean, did you see, say, for Twitter or whatever? I mean, I'm sorry. Were you
No,
watching LPGA golf the other night?
you seem remarkably attentive with the TV. We'll get to another instant after, but yeah, you just informed me about some bobcat running through the screen, and then yeah.
So it was, I forget the golfer's first name, and I apologize, but her last name is Reed, and her caddy were talking over a shot, and they were mic'd up, and it's great because I love that stuff. My girlfriend and I were at the library bar, I think that's called, which is just this little bar that's open from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Second Lodge at Bandon Dunes, but it's just like, it's like a library. It's like what you think it is, with a nice little patio out back where you can like watch the 18th green at Bandon Dunes, but they had a TV in there, and LPGA golf was on because we just weren't watching March Madness at that moment. The bartender was the only other person in the room. We're sitting there, and I'm just absentmindedly watching the TV, and all of a sudden, I just see this thing trot across, and I blinked, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. Like I saw it in real time. Like I wasn't even watching the whole time. I just happened to like take a sip of my scotch, set it down, look up, and I'm just kind of like, I could have been staring at a blank wall. I just like looked up, and next thing I know, this bobcat trots by, and for a good like 10 seconds, nobody's saying anything. Meanwhile, I'm jumping up and down my bar stool, shrieking like, "There's a mountain cat running around to the golf course," and they're not talking about it because it's eating somebody right now.
Yeah, that some people. Who was it who messaged you about the bobcat?
Well, so Brittany Lincecum of LPGA status and fame, she tweeted me. Well, I tweeted her. I wasn't trying to be snarky, but then again, I was. I wasn't expecting to hear anything back. But the next day, she tweeted something to the tune of, "Oh, I wish I would have could have seen that in person. That would have been amazing." It was more towards her general theme was, "I wish I could have been there to see that in person." And I just tweeted her back saying, "You do?" Like that was it. It was flat, just like, "You do?" ? And she tweeted me back saying, "Yeah, that thing's so beautiful." And I wanted to light her up, but she was nice enough to tweet me that I decided to say something about that guy who killed that cougar with his bare hands. So maybe we're okay, but I'm a fraidy cat. And then she tweeted me something back, some nice platitude. But I even told you, I said, I'm going to light her up on the pod, and I'm just going to say it in this, and that out of all the things that are out there, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, the mountain cats, the fact that we saw it, it's like we really don't even see squirrels very much. They show deer and alligator or whatever, but you don't see them running around that much in the background. And I've had a lot of experience with mountain cats in different time zones in America, and they don't want to be seen. Like, I'm not saying we have an overpopulation problem where this tournament was in Arizona, or that it was crowding the area or whatever, because you could say we should have seen bobcats before. But I mean, and the rattlesnakes, I get that. There's snakes everywhere in the hot places, but I mean, a bobcat. And it just, and for 45 minutes, nobody was talking about it. So I was just sitting there like losing my brains going, am I literally the only person lame enough to be watching on a Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. while March Madness is on? I'm watching LPGA golf in this big empty bar with nobody around.
Yeah, so
it's perfect.
I'm no animal expert, especially wild animals, but I'm pretty sure you do not want to be near a bobcat.
They are the easy animal people. Don't at me or tweet me, because speaking of people tweeting me, it's gotten kind of ugly out there.
PETA's coming for
you. Well, no, I tweeted that video of those guys hitting golf balls into the ocean, and he started getting on my case about like putting plastic in the ocean or whatever. And I was just kind of like, I just kind of tweeted him back saying like, "Hey, you feel better after that tweet?"
I saw you posted really that, and I knew it was coming. Now
well, but then he like, But then he like tagged me with like an article about like some California kid. I didn't even read the rest of it or whatever. Like maybe he got like found one and like went up his ass or something. Then he got like went into a coma or something. I don't know. But essentially, I just like I'm turning to that guy now where I'm just like, hey, you know what? That wasn't what I meant, and you're a prick. Block. I mean, it's just like because I don't want to deal with this. Like these people genuinely make me feel bad to a degree where I'm like, whoa, you missed like this one guy. Said like I never would have made my golfer putt out of a bunker like that. I'm just like, oh, we were having a good time, and the whole point was the video was he was hitting a golf ball on the green, which is a 1 in a million chance that happened, and he's sitting there saying like, oh well, if you were my cat, I made you do that. There'd go your tip, and I'm just like, what the hell's your problem, man? I just got done telling you the video was about this, not that, and number 3, we were having fun. And so I just like blocked him, and that's what prompted me to put up that tweet going like, hey, how many people have you all blocked? Because I was just like that. Like, I feel sick to my stomach now. But then this asswipe, like I just essentially said, like, hey, bud, I didn't tell those guys not to hit balls into the ocean. It was their tradition that they do on the number 4 tee box at Pacific Dunes. I just thought, hey, this would be fun to capture on film, and I posted it. And guess what? The assistant superintendent of Pacific Dunes, I'm not going to say his name, but he's a good buddy of mine. We go way back. He liked the tweet, so you can F off double, buddy. I mean, I'm just going to say, like, team hashtag buzz off. I mean, come on.
Yeah, with the worldwide fame.
I told him I told him straight up, all I said was, go find those guys. Leave me alone. That was it. I'm just kind of like, whoa, dude, everyone else loves this.
Yeah, that's
like,
a fair point. It wasn't even you. It wasn't even you hitting.
So anyways, yeah, I didn't want to get too sloppy with Brittany in terms of being mean or snappy, but she like tweeted back at me, and we tweeted back and forth more than once a piece, which I thought was pretty cool because she's a big LPGA star. I don't have her stat sheet in front of me, but I mean it's a very recognizable name. Is she Canadian or American? Help me out here.
Think American.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I know she's not Australian because that would make her a Kinko. So did you, and you saw in the Valspar tournament, the typo, we almost had to call Donald Trump and get ICE on the phone to deal with maybe a little 50% nationality issue.
So I don't know which is funnier. You tweeted at me the picture with the U.S. flag, but I didn't notice that, and I just thought you meant he's at the top of the leaderboard.
So real quick, for context, and people are still tweeting me about it, like saying like, oh yeah, he was like 61st last week. And I'm just like, Jesus, Pete. So what happened was I'm sitting at McKee's Pub. This is this is before we went to this is the day. Screw it. It was McKee's Pub. So it was Sunday, final round of the Valspar, and we're sitting there watching. And I just look up at the screen, and when they had the mini leaderboard, when they had the picture-in-picture for like split cameras or like to a commercial or whatever, when they had the mini leaderboard, they had Louis Oosthuizen with an American flag next to him, issued as an American. I started fumbling my phone around fast enough, like just trying to be like, oh, I got to get a picture of this, I snapped the picture, put the highlight around it, tweeted it out there to Zach, the company and everything. And everyone just starts raining in because it showed Louis Oosthuizen, as an American, mind you, in third place at 7 under, while Paul Casey was at 9 under, and who was at 8 under? Somebody else. I mean, it doesn't even matter. But
Ryan Armour, maybe.
Well, this was near the end, but the whole point is, everyone starts tweeting me saying like, yeah, it's like, yeah, he's top 3, no big deal, and I'm just like, it's not, and then it's like, no, that's not, and it's not. The whole point, and then when they cut to the main leaderboard, because I was genuinely thinking like, what if I'm a dick and he like did become an American?
Fully American.
Rory Sabatini went from South African to Slovakian now or whatever. I mean, he went, that's not even a lateral move. Like he went from bad to worse. I mean, come on. And I'm not saying anything's bad about South Africa, but if anyone cares to pay attention to real news, or I'm not saying real or fake news, just do yourself some research about how white people behave on the whole in South Africa. It's not
good.
We're not too many years removed or whatever. It's kind of like, I mean, you got to look at America too sometimes in terms of civil rights. We've only had certain things for like equality for like 55 years. I mean, there's still people around who are alive who experienced a much different, much terrible time where you had different drinking fountains and different bathrooms, different everything. I mean, anyways, the hell was I talking about? Off topic. Louis typo because he's so I didn't want to be an ass thinking like maybe he's an American. That'd be cool. And I did get some jokes of people saying, yeah, we traded him for the Ryder Cup or whatever. And I almost wanted to lean into those people, but I don't know what Louis' President's Cup record was, and I never bothered to look it up because that could have been funny. Because they said, like, yeah, some fella, I didn't get his catch his name, or I don't remember off the top of my head, but he said we traded Spieth and Reed for Louis for the Ryder Cup.
Oh, that was good.
I was like, that's funny. That's good stuff. But I'm still sitting here spinning my tires like, no, guys, we're missing the point. And I thought it'd go away, but no, on the mini, I play Call of Duty a lot, so I keep on saying mini map. On the mini leaderboard, in the picture-in-picture mode, it kept having his American, and then on the main leaderboard, it had him as Royal South African. I was just like, and it was there for the rest of the tournament, and I was just bouncing around having a good time. I was tweeting the No Laying Up guys this. I was tweeting everyone on Twitter this, and no one seemed to catch on. Everyone seemed to just like slap me on the back and be like, "Yeah, Louis golfing good, huh?" That's really what it was.
I thought maybe he switched like Sabatini.
Oh, Sabatini.
Although
that's what I said earlier, right? I wasn't like because he was South African and went to. Who did I say?
No, who was it? It wasn't Sabatini.
It was Sabatini. Yeah,
who switched from American to Slovak.
No, Sabatini. Well, if he was American, he was South African too.
Who's the one who switched to Slovakia?
Sabatini. That's what I meant to say earlier. Everyone was probably yelling at their dashboard or like punching their phones, like saying like, "No, it's Sabatini." I probably said McIlroy or something stupid.
No, he wants to be in the Olympics.
Right. No, I know Sabatini for a fact. At least ran under the country of South Africa, and then. I thought that's why I said South Africa to Slovakia is a bad to worse move in terms of, oh, great, shitty white people to shittier white people. I mean, at least South Africans are rich. I mean, so that I saw the typo. And so between the Bobcat, and I even tweeted that, I said, between the Bobcat on the LPGA and this typo, I feel like I'm the only one watching golf here or whatever. I mean, maybe I just need a big hit of Xanax or something to calm the F down. What do you think?
Yeah. You have a lot of focus going.
Oh, great. There is no spoon.
Yes, so I guess we could go into the Valspar a little bit. I guess we saw the end of it. Paul Casey sort of won from the second round, I think, was when he had a great round, and then from there sort of stayed ahead.
Paul, the franchise Casey.
This is his event.
He turned pro. I remember I have this in my notes because he's in the international section or honorable mention section of my best player without a major, especially now because before his win, he was one of these guys. But I think he turned pro sometime between 99 or 2001, just one of those few years there. And this is his third tour win.
Yeah,
and he won the Valspar last year. This is like bonkers. I mean, I'm not saying he's just coming on. The guy's always sniffing around. He's got some great numbers. He always seems to be in the hunt at Augusta, like pre-cut. But then, my goodness, it's he's 30. Oh wait, he's also 37th all time on the money list for a guy that only has 3 wins. I mean, not too shabby for one of those guys who was one of those millennial young guns when Tiger Woods was already flying above them.
Yeah, it's crazy that he only has 3 wins too. Maybe it's because he doesn't do as well in these birdie fests, and this is one of the harder or higher winning scores.
I don't know if he's found something different in his game because his swing has always been very solid. He's always been very athletic, and I don't know. But you also have maybe some Charles Howell III going on, who's become like one of my new favorite boys because he's only won twice or 3 times on tour. And he's been out for almost 20 years, and he's 22nd, 23rd on the money list with he has 22 million earning. Oh my God, but I always say what Charles Howell III does to be an incredible golfer like that, like to always be getting top 10s or always be making cuts or whatever. He's playing twice as much golf as your average. Like he's making cuts, which means he still has to play Saturday, Sunday to get those T25s, get those T15s, get those Happy Gilmore foam checks just rolling in. I mean, just every single week. And that's why I made the joke that he didn't play last week in the Valspar because he showed up to the wrong tournament. Joke. I mean.
Yeah, he's racking up the rounds for sure. But Casey must be another one of those guys who has huge career earnings. I feel like he has so many T5s.
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I think I had it right here in front of me. Because he was 37th on the money list, which puts him at, courtesy of ESPN, 37th at the money list is $28.65 million.
It's not bad.
Not too shabby there, Mr. Casey. I mean,
not great. Like, it's just what do you say? Just $34 million.
Hey, backup point guards make more money than that? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, come on. Mike Trout is making that in a year.
Good grief. Why don't you just compare it to... Never mind.
Hopefully he doesn't struggle too much in his later life.
Did you see Paul Casey winning this at all? I mean, I was feeling really good with Scott Stallings and DJ. I mean...
I can't say I did because no one's going to believe me, but I sort of did. Because I was thinking after the Players, he actually played pretty well at the Players, even though he missed the cut. He started off round 1 just hitting 3 balls in the water, basically knocking himself out of contention. And from there, he shot even par till missing the cut. And obviously, he had no motivation or anything at that point. He was way out of it.
True. That is true. Yeah, I guess that's why I'm saying I don't know if he's coming on strong because he's always been good, but like I'm not. I put a lot of weight on the wins, and it's really hard because it's hard to. You really have to get do a deep dive and get specific into like. That's why I like top 5s and top 10s or like runner-up finishes because that means you're right there still.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets you a lot of money, gets you a lot of world golf ranking. I mean, shucks, what does that put Casey as world golf ranking now? I mean, he's got to be.
Must be. He's for sure top 20. But...
I do know when I was trying to look up something like that, the internet told me the last time he was the highest he ever got was in 2009. He was 3rd in the world, but anywho, I don't know. I don't know what Paul was to win last week, like 20-1 or something, and he had to be mentioned because he's the defending champ.
Yeah, plus
and he's trending. He's more than trending now. So, anyways,
yeah. Plus we have Luke Donald making his return. After a year of not playing.
Yeah, the carcass of Luke Donald has finally surfaced to the top of the froth.
Yeah, it was a shame he was doing great until basically the last couple holes where he dropped a ton of strokes, but it was nice to see him there.
Has he been injured, or what's up?
Yeah, he was injured for a whole year.
I like his game, but he's kind of like almost in that Kevin Na level of orbit where it's just kind of like, oh man, Kevin Na is... I don't want to say so one-dimensional, but it's like I said, he hits the ball short and he hits the ball low. 2 not very good things. It's like you put those 2 things together. Some courses do not work out for you. Like I'm not putting Kevin Na to win the PGA Championship. You heard it here first, folks.
No,
which means he's going to win.
Suit today's golf, where they're just bombing it.
But his game is solid, especially if he's on. And I hate to say it, if you're on, you're on. When these guys are right in, they're all feeling on, but they're right within like millo, whatever meters of just being like whether they know it or not. Like sometimes just does the wind blow their club head around a little bit during a swing or doesn't it, and whether they can control it or not. I mean, these guys are such fine-tuned professionals that like tiny little things like that aren't in their control, really. And Jack Nicklaus is quoted as saying like, let the club do the work. So
there was some crazy stat the announcer said on Donald that when he was number 1 in the world, he was number 1 for a good amount of time. He had 1 season on the PGA Tour with 0 3-putts. Not sure how that's possible.
Yeah, it was something. It was kind of Brad Faxon-esque. I mean, that's also, but you have to be fair. That's a contribution of, I'd say his whatever you would call his like overall approach for the game, because it's like you could be on a par 4, miss the green, and then like hit your chip or hit your bunker shot, and then you're 2 putts to a bogey, and that's not necessarily ideal or whatever. I mean, I tend to look at it as he's always been a sharp iron player, very, very sharp. I mean, he's Mr. Mizuno for crying out loud, or at least he was. But he probably has a lifetime sponsorship with them, like carte blanche. But he probably just like hit it close ridiculously, and I wish I had like a proper laptop or whatever, like I guess. Like if some of our fans have told us like what devices they're using or whatever, I'm just like, oh yeah, this morning when I was making my bracket, it was on like legal yellow pad, and I was like writing a little like whatever, and then when I was halfway done, I realized, oh wait, I had it in backwards and crumpled it up. Well, I don't even. My girlfriend has a crummy laptop. I don't really have a laptop. I got this nice pad that I'm talking to you on, and thank you, Wi-Fi internet. But other than that, it's just. I'm trying not to distract myself by looking at stuff on my phone, statistic wise and whatnot as well. So, anyways, anything else you want to say about Paul Casey or Valspar before we get into your favorite PGA non-major event?
No, I mean, I guess we saw a hole-in-one. We saw an albatross.
You said we didn't see the albatross though.
Yeah, so Russell Knox hit an albatross from like 270 out in round one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they actually had it on footage though, because they keep their cameras rolling, so you get like some very shady footage of it.
Okay.
But it is cool that they have every hole.
Yeah, because I heard about it, but I didn't see any visual gravity of it, and I hate to say it, that's kind of the way this crap runs these days. I mean, you gotta show something that's visual, grabby, catchy, and if you didn't get it, I didn't see it. So, anyhow, the World Golf Championship Dell Technologies Match Play Golf Tournament in Austin, Texas. Let's get our picks out right away before we talk about before we bloviate about the tournament a little bit, because I have some questions. Or who do you like as your I guess I don't even know what would constitute the odds as what a favorite is, but my favorite, even though he's only 30-1, and it's not indicative of what my brackets say. I'm coughing on the chalk dust over here, but Tony Finau, I like him at 30-1. The way he handled Fleetwood, and the way he made the Ryder Cup, and the way I'm definitely not being, this isn't a racial thing, folks, but he definitely has the eye of the tiger in some regard, where it's just, I feel like he's our American golfer. Like when he turns it on, kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder a little bit.
Yeah. I love it.
I've almost picked him to win the Masters like the last 3 years, honestly, just because it's like he looks good. Tony Finau's always looked good.
Oh, he's going to win one. I think he could be a future number one. He's like super sharp with his iron. Sort of reminds me of DJ, how he hits it far, but could be as precise as anyone.
And he's not terribly old either. I mean, no. Tony Finau, he's got to be like 30 years old or something. I mean, yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
But yeah, he's on the right side of the bracket for sure. He's on the right side and the right side. Both right. And so I think the other side with DJ Thomas is like the side of death. Someone's going to win coming from there.
Yeah, there's, not to say it's pretty loaded. I had some issues. Like there was, what was it? Yeah, I think Finau and Poulter are in the same group or something starting off. And it just broke my heart because I really liked both of those guys a lot.
If he gets out of that, he could play Koepka, who hasn't been in the best of form. Or Noren, who really hasn't been in the best of form. But
do we really know if Koepka's in the best of form? Because he doesn't play that much golf.
That's true.
Finau is 29, turns 30 in September. He's 6'4". Jesus, Pete, I didn't know that.
That's a big dude.
That's a big boy. That's like Ernie L's big.
Yes,
So, no, before I get to my long shot, which I would have him beating DJ, even though I got DJ winning the tournament just because he's my boy. I mean, that's who you root for.
Is it my guy Hideki?
No. But who do you? I gave you a name, then you give me a name. Who do you got?
So my original favorite when I filled it out was Justin Thomas. I really liked him. Then after looking it over, I don't want to be that guy rooting for Tiger, but I think he might win. He's so dominant. He's so dominant in match play through his career. He's not in the toughest group.
Are you including Ryder Cup as well? Because that's where I'd say over 50% of our match play that we've seen Tiger play in would lie. I get that he's won a lot of WGC, and maybe you need to pull up his record in singles Ryder Cup, which I think it's pretty good, actually. It just turns out he's not a lousy teammate. He just doesn't have a good team record or something, perhaps. But you like Tiger, huh? You think he's dominant.
He's in a group with Snedeker and Aaron Wise. I think he destroys, and then it'll come down to him against Cantlay.
See, I think it's him and Snedeker, honestly, out of that group.
Oh, really?
And I think he destroys honestly, I have Tiger advancing out of his group. I'll be 100% honest with you. I think he's in a very, very pillow fighty foursome there. And really, it's down to him and Snedeker. And if Snedeker plays his best golf, and Tiger doesn't pay attention every other hole or something, then Snedeker can win. I'm sorry, those two do not match up well for Snedeker's favor. They don't.
Yeah, I think he might Stephen Ames Snedeker. Everyone keeps re-showing that, how he 9-8'd Stephen Ames back in the day.
Oh man, vaporized. Just destroyed him.
But yeah, the only worry I have with Tiger is that if he does make it out, he would have to play 36 holes on Saturday and Sunday, which sort of worries me that he can't keep it up. But
That's a very good point, and we are only 3 weeks away from Augusta, so he didn't say he's going to be playing in between, right? I mean,
No,
the
this is his last
Valero.
one, I think, before
Yeah,
Augusta.
okay. So, well, God forbid if he doesn't play well and he's out, then he just has more time off, rest him more. But whatever. He's gonna be fine for Augusta, I'm sure. This is I don't want to see him get worn out. That's the whole point. As I've said on the record, I just want to see him play complete rounds, 4 of them of golf.
Yeah, everyone wants to see him healthy for Augusta.
What's Tiger's odds going off?
He's 25-1.
You know what? That is fair. I was really, really griping about Tiger for his Augusta odds already, and I don't know if they've changed. Well, he didn't play in the Valspar, but at 25-1, that is very, very believable to me. I mean, that makes the most sense in terms of, well, how you would say it's not too high, not too low, and really, I'm not going to say nobody's been passing around the Kool-Aid, but you're the first person really I've talked to. I'm not going to say this is a bombshell, but picking Tiger, that's bold. I like that.
Yeah, I feel like he's sort of being a bit overlooked, which is odd to say about Tiger because I feel like he's picked for everything.
Well, and it's not to say it's those like Tiger people who are like the Elvis Presley fans or whatever who still believe he's still alive and just kind of smile and walk on, but I mean, I like that. That's bold. Do you have a long shot? Because I got a long shot, and the thing is, I mean, I had him. He would be beating DJ, like I said, but I put him through the system that almost got me, Scott Stallings, until I knew something was up because the 2 guys that I had going to the final round of the tournament a couple days ago both fell off. Like they knew somehow. Like they actually do read Twitter and don't talk back. I got Lowry at 125-1.
Okay, so you have him beating DJ in the round of 16.
I do. I actually do. I mean, save for the bracket that I sent you guys this morning, which is our own personal office bracket, so to speak. But it's pretty easy to find out who I pick. I mean, it's hard to root against. I know Bubba's on the other side of the bracket. I mean, but it's just I got it for some reason. Everyone doesn't want me to pick the heavy every time. So, okay, there you go, people.
Is it going to be windy?
I have no idea.
If it's going to be windy, then Lowry has a chance. If not, I don't like his chances.
Well, let me put it this way. Depending on how Lowry does, if he wins this week, then I need to pick the winner next week to find out if we really struck gold. But if he doesn't win, then I can just scrap this. I can scrap that part of the machine and keep working forward.
Yeah,
because evidently Nolan the Machine picks the more popular heavies.
So now you're being forced into taking huge underdogs.
Oh, not necessarily. I mean, like I said, the bracket and my picks might not be the same thing, but that's because I can at least bloviate about Lowry and Finau for a minute, whereas it's just like, well, yeah, I guess if you look at my bracket, I am taking, like, I went match by match, worked them through, and then in the end, it took somebody else looking at my bracket to tell me I picked the favorite in each one every time. I was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I swear, I didn't know that.
I'll go on to my long shot. It was...
Yeah, what do you got?
The man I wrote a whole article about, the Asian John Daly, Kiradek Afi Barnrat.
Kiradek.
First of all, come on, great guy. He vapes. He quit his smoking habits to vape. How can you not root for this guy?
Wasn't that because of his girlfriend or something? Ferrari. I heard that podcast that he did with No Laying Up. Wasn't that because of his girlfriend or something? Or because he was such a crack up, like that's he. I was telling a guy I was caddying for at the time. I'm like, he's like Ichiro, where he doesn't seem to have like a full grasp on the English language, but he has grasp on humor and communication. And like, like he might like sound like he's saying the wrong things, but he knows he's getting his point across, and everyone knows exactly what he's getting at. And he busts some good balls in English. I mean, he's funny.
Yeah, he's sharp. So then,
I mean,
he's done really well at some match play events. He won the Paul Lowry match play on the European Tour. He won the...
That's right, he did.
What was it called? The Super 6, where they play like 6 holes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, I haven't thought about that in a little bit. Yeah,
he's done really well at match play. Plus, he's in a group with Bryson, who's never played this tournament.
Oh god, the internet was going berserk about him, giving him odds. I mean, it's kind of I forget what it was. It was in the teens. It's not reasonable. I mean, then again, I had him going 4. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. What group's Kiradek in?
He's in group, I guess, 6. It's the group with Bryson, Leishman, and Knox.
Yeah, I obviously had Bryson in that group, evidently. But what are Kiradek's odds?
So he's 100-1.
I was gonna say they got to be around Lowry's 125 to 1.
I'm pretty sure he made the quarterfinals last year.
Okay. Oh yeah, that is true. And going back to that Super 6 thing, I encourage you to look it up because I don't know the exact details. I don't want to screw it up. But I remember whenever that happened, however many years ago, it was when the European tour really started. It was a very watershed moment in them getting their media squared away, getting their social content squared away, getting to be because in case you're not aware, the European tour presents its product very differently than the PGA Tour. I'm not going to say I know how. It's like the PGA Tour is the NFL, and the European Tour is like the NBA, where no. I'm not gonna compare PGA to like MLB, where it's just like they just hold on to the rights to everything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that's why you hear that at the end of everything. Not without the approved written consent of Major League Baseball. You can't go onto YouTube and find much baseball footage because they just own it all. It's very old fashioned, whatever. NFL is always very popular. What's that?
That makes sense. Yeah, that was a good comparison.
Well, so now peep this real quick. The NFL fits right in between in terms of it's the most popular, it pays the most, and I'm coming up with half of this off the top of my head, but it makes sense to me. It's like everyone wants to play there. It's the most televised sport or whatever, very American and whatnot. And they also know what they are, and they're trying to be cool and trying to make all the right moves. The European Tour is like the NBA, where the NBA essentially they want to be global and as cheap as possible, so more people can see them. They just want everyone to be a fan. The second an NBA game is completed in real time, you can find the whole thing on YouTube for free in its entirety. The NBA straight up is the opposite of baseball with its content. The European Tour does that very, very good, where they just all of a sudden they had funnier commercials, better TV coverage, funny formats. I mean, or not funny, but like unique, like cool, eclectic formats, like the Super 6. And that was really what put them on the map, whether it was like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. But I like that because I'm like, the shot clocks. They were doing things that nobody would ever do in golf because golf is it evolves at a glacier pace, which is why it's still very old fashioned. Yeah, very much so. Whether they have a product to market or not, like they always obviously know they're going to be playing little cousin to the PGA Tour in terms of money and merchandising and TV and getting all the stars to live and play, whatever. But the European Tour is playing every single card it has perfectly. It's like that small baseball team with no budget, like the Athletics with Billy Beane, where it's just like they got to shoestring it and figure it out so they can compete, and they do. So,
yeah, they seem to be doing great the last couple of years, which I guess is good. It makes it. We have 2 tours now.
So, anything else here? We're about to wrap up the podcast. We got a couple more segments. Zach, do your best to hold your head still, because I'm hearing in my headphones a lot of sounds like, like that popcorn sound or whatever.
Oh, no.
See, folks, you need to send us all the money you have, and so we can get microphones and then get out of this. I'm not going to call it even a basement. I'll call it the gutters that we're in. No, I know I can hear it in my headphones, and you probably can't. So, which means it's probably coming on the recording. So,
okay,
but we're probably only going to be doing this for about 10 more minutes because we're at about the minute 40 mark. But anything else you want to cover on the match play before we get into our fun U.S. and Canadian facts of the week?
So I guess there's one more guy I should go over because he's someone I really like and definitely think could win at 80-1. Billy Horschel.
Oh yeah, you like Billy Ho? That's right.
Yeah, he's made all 11 cuts this year, so definitely playing well. In a group,
yeah, I don't know if he's trending up, but I mean, he's definitely playing solid, more solid than usual.
Yeah, he's in a group with Spieth, who I don't know if he remembers
who's hot garbage,
golf ball, and Kevin Na, but then the lefty Bubba, who he'll be tough to beat.
Somebody had Bubba. Who was it in one of our brackets? They had Bubba like losing in the championship or something. It broke my heart, but it was one of our guys, one of the guys on our team.
Lefties have done notoriously well at this event. It definitely.
Well, I think that speaks more to not lefties per se, but just the fact that Bubba is such an artist that went one-on-one, not one versus the entire field, not one versus par, not one versus the course. It's like all I need to do is like Trevino style, get in your head and have you screw up. Then I can do whatever I want. All I have to do is get a par or a bogey. You're taking a drop and hoping you get up there and get a bogey. You're hoping you get a bogey. That's match play, baby.
That's another reason I love
play is
Tiger.
the best.
That's another reason I love him, though. He'll intimidate the hell out of you.
But if you've noticed, I mean, there was also, and I mentioned this earlier to my girlfriend about an hour ago, and I should have looked up the name. But right in like the peak of Tiger's success, he got unseeded by a 64 seed when they did straight up match play the entire time. Like this might have been 2003, 2004. And I'm sorry, guys, the reason why we're doing this podcast is to be smart and informative and helpful. And I know this is the opposite of that, but mark my words, it's very opposite of the Stephen Ames thing, like you said, where he just like, went thermonuclear on his ass. But, oh God, it was a fella from New Zealand or something, or it was like Carl Peterson, I think, this Swedish fella.
Yeah, he was playing up until a couple of years ago.
He was 64th seeded, and Tiger was 1, and he beat him like 5-4 or 4-3, just soundly. And this was like 2003, 2004, right in the middle of Tiger mania. I mean, not when Tiger was playing his best, but when Tiger was certainly a thing. And I remember, like, in the couple WGCs after that, or like 2 out of the 3 after that, Tiger, like a lot of golfers, whether they were just acting because Sabatini said it and he was kind of mouthy, a lot of golfers came out and said they're not intimidated.
Correct.
And then to be fair, if like out of the 100% of them that said they're not intimidated, 75% of them played like they weren't intimidated. They played just fine against Tiger one-on-one in match play. But when it's Tiger, like when Tiger's in the canopy, like he's in the cockpit and he's ready to take off and he's just staring straight ahead and like all he hears is go, nobody's better. Tiger is meant for stroke play better than he is for match play. But I do have him doing decent in this tournament.
Okay, well, now that theory's out the drain, he might need to start like physically harming people to intimidate them.
Oh well, I don't think Tiger definitely knows he's not that intimidating presence anymore. That's why he's signing autographs. He knows the game isn't meant for him to like. Remember, he was buddies with Michael Jordan. He learned how to be a professional athlete and how you treat the field like Michael Jordan did. Like it's just, and Jordan just. Much like Kobe wanted to be, so Kobe was always going to be Michael Jordan light. He will never be the greatest because he wanted to be. Never mind. But that being said, he just like kill. That was it. That's what Tiger did, was kill, kill, kill. Didn't matter if he missed fairways. Didn't matter if he missed some putts. It was kill, kill, kill. That's what Tiger was good at, essentially. So anyhow, I still like him in this tournament just because of the group and the line that he can take to get to certain rounds. But overall, I don't. Yeah, I think it'd be better off for his sake that if he doesn't make the weekend, probably.
Yeah, if you had to pick one top seed, which one do you think loses?
That's a good question. Why don't you talk about where people can find us really quick while I'm looking that up? Michigan Sports Entertainment. I forgot to talk about them at the top of the podcast. I'm such a heel.
Yes, so, well, before we get to that, I'll give you my guy, I think, who I don't think will move out. And I'm actually going to go with the number 1 seed, Dustin Johnson. I don't think he makes it out of his group.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sorry. You asked me which number 1 doesn't make it out of their group. I apologize. I'm looking at this incorrectly now. Let me start over.
Yeah, I think DJ will lose. I don't know to who, but I don't know. He was playing terribly on Sunday. He's played like 4 weeks in a row now. Well,
he's got Hideki in that group who's solid. Grace, who's a sneaky good player at times, who can crank off a good round, and Ches Reavie, who's turning into Charles Howell III Jr. Light. Like I'm calling him Charles Howell III Light.
Yeah,
because this guy's starting to turn into like, or at least how I'm saying is he won't play bad. That's what I'm saying. So hold on, top. So that would be who else? McIlroy. That's an easy group with Fitzpatrick, Harding, and List. And I got McIlroy at least like winning 3rd or 4th place in this easily. Justin Rose might have a tough time. I think I'm overselling him a lot because in my bracket I have him losing to DJ in the final because he's got Woodland, Pepperell, and Griot. And by the way, folks, I call him Griot because I know people with that last name personally, and it's Griot, not Grillo. You can call it Grillo all day. I'm not trying to sound highfalutin. I know people personally with that last name, and they say Griot.
Yeah, you got to pronounce it with the accent.
Like my boy Thomas Griot. I haven't seen him in about 10, 12 years, but he used to play a lot of golf. Of course, I was a pro out in Maryland. Hey, Thomas, you're not listening, but
shout out
good
Thomas
dude. Really.
Griot.
Oh, Thomas Griot. That guy was great. And I'm not seeing Koepka. Yeah, Koepka's in an easy group too. I mean, this is some of these, like I said, some of these are just pillow fights. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell
Koepka's
you.
in an easy group.
I don't know what to tell you, guy.
So you're going with all 16 favorites. That suits it, actually. That suits you perfectly.
No. I said I got McIlroy beating Koepka in the consolation championship.
But let's move on to all 16 favorites are making it out of their group.
I didn't know it until someone else told me. Okay, I made a bracket because I wanted to fit in. All right, let's get on to we got a Canadian fun fact of the week and an American fun fact of the week. Hit me with your Canadian fun fact of the week. I'm not going to be doing a U.S. fun fact of the week. I'm only going to come up with stuff that I think Americans would find entertaining as well.
All right.
What do you got from Canada there, A?
Our Canadian fun fact of the week, A, is from my home province of Quebec. It's that Quebec produces 77% of the world's maple syrup.
That's neat. I definitely, much unlike your macaroni and cheese statistic, I believe that one big time. That makes perfect sense as opposed to, but you said they got a lot of fat people in Canada.
So, yeah.
Like, we got a lot of fat people down here.
All my fun facts are 100% true and verified by probably some random site I found it on, but they're true.
You know what? Is that an upgrade or downgrade from you said Wikipedia last time?
Probably a downgrade. For sure a downgrade this site.
Okay. All right. So we're keeping our first two podcasts. We're an hour piece. We're a little over 45 minutes. Keep this one short. And my fun fact, and you can all play along with Zach because I didn't prompt him on this or whatever, but the Hawaiian language has how many letters? They're all English, like American style, English letters. How many letters are in the Hawaiian alphabet? Now, we'll talk it through for about 60 seconds. We're not going to think too hard. But if you think out loud, I got them right here in front of me. I can check them off as you go. But there's not many, and this is fun. If you're playing along at
less than normal.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what prompted this, but we have 26 letters in the American alphabet, or at least that's what I was told last time I heard. We had 9 planets in the solar system, and the Earth was still round. But the Russian alphabet has the most characters at 32. Yikes. And then that prompted me to ask my girlfriend, who's a very smart person, and she didn't know this. I said, hey, did you know that X amount of letters are in the Hawaiian alphabet? And she said, really? And I was just like, yeah, think about it. And we broke it down. She's like, oh, yeah, I guess it's only this many. What do you got?
Well, I know the national fish of Hawaii is Humanuka Nuka Apua'a.
Oh, my God.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Teaches me a lot. So I'm going to go with
I have that movie memorized and I don't even know how to pronounce that fish. And I know the fish.
Yeah, bitch.
Yeah, bitch. Okay, so start shouting out some letters that are in that fish. Go ahead.
Okay, so H, U, N. A, N, U, K. P. O.
All right, we're getting there. There's a lot of letters in that fish.
Yeah, there's a lot of letters in Humanuka Nuka Apua'a.
Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. I'll just tell you, there's 4 more. There's one of them. You got 3 left. You said A, H, I, K,
L,
M, N, O, P, U, L is one of them. There's 2 left.
Wow, I'm crushing.
What do you got?
I haven't got any wrong.
One's a
S.
You're counting up. Oh man, S is not
T.
in the Hawaiian language. No. Oh, 2 strikes. Now we're playing baseball. So just slow down. Take a pitch here. Take a pitch. I was about to tell you one of the letters. Easy. Breathe. One of the letters is a very common letter. It's one of 5 that is not like the others, and we use it a lot. You've named the other 4 of the 5. What is this one?
E.
There you go. All right, we're looking for just one.
That was a lot of pressure to know my vowels. I'm saying.
It'd be like me with cursive writing, which we were all taught when I'm old enough. We were taught cursive writing when we were kids. And to those of you listening who don't know what cursive writing is, it wasn't foul language, trust me. But now it's like, what is cursive writing good for? I mean, my signature looks like a seizure anyway. So it's like, what am I going to write cursive for? Anyways, one last letter. What do you got, Zach?
It's definitely not Z.
No, okay, That was a ball in the corner there. So you're just gonna say, "Well, it's not this. It's not this."
Ooh, I don't even know.
It's. Oh, I hate to say it because I got the no. All right, strike three. The biggest hint I was gonna give you. It's in the name of the state. W.
W. Oh, that's.
There are 12 letters in the Hawaiian alphabet, the 5 vowels and 7 consonants.
That's
so
crazy.
If everyone's scoring at home, real quick, if everyone's scoring at home, the Hawaiian alphabet is AEHIKLMNOPUW.
That's interesting. I guess that's why all their words sound the same.
Well, I like to think that they have like a very nice language and everything's fairly descriptive. And how come I can't tell places apart better when they have to be very distinct and different? So, well, Zach, I can't think of anything else to talk about. We're going to talk about the Masters next week, and this match play is going to be fun. I'm going to be getting messy on Twitter. You going to be playing any golf down in Florida?
Yeah, I'll be playing golf this week.
I'm not fighting anybody.
Yeah, try not to get banned.
Banned?
Starting fights with celebrity female golfers.
I know. Hey, I am honored that Brittany tweeted at me. That was very nice of her, considering, like I said, it started off with me being snarky, but then when she said, like I said, I wanted to light her up and be like, no, you don't wish you were there in person. I don't care how beautiful. Go to YouTube. I mean, it's the smallest. Excuse me. Take two. It's the smallest of the wildest of animals, the bobcat. I don't. And then I just kept like screaming out in the library bar. I just kept saying, the reason why we're not seeing it is because it's eating everyone right now. I mean, I can't get that out of my head.
So that's what people will take from this podcast. Do not hang out with bobcats, please.
Do not. So, all right, folks, we appreciate you listening. You can find us, as you know, as always. We hope you subscribe on iTunes like I do. I mean, that's what I've done for my podcast for 10 years now, and I do it to myself just so our numbers look good and to hear how bad we sound and how much we can apologize about it the next time. So you can find me also on the Twitter at JerryLouLooper1. That's the number 1. And Zach, where can people talk to you the best? And what do we got?
At From the Back Tees. I even added it to the bio, run by Zach, so people know it's not just a website talking to them.
Yeah, this is exactly. It's I mean, Zach does have a separate Twitter account, but I mostly talk to we text and we Skype, but I mostly talk to him via the From the Back Tees account. And I usually try to include him on every single funny or attempted funny thing I'm trying to say or anything cool or interesting. So, and usually he pings me right back. And so as long as I'm not out there looping or whatever, I can. I'm usually all over my phone, loving to mix it up. So. That's where you can find us on Twitter. Again, this is all for www.fromthebacktees.com. That is us. We need to get some merchandise soon. I know you were talking about maybe some shirts,
dealing
hats.
with these people in India and Pakistan.
Specifically?
Not the greatest of fun. Hopefully we'll have out pretty soon. I guess I've been working on it with some bunch of ideas.
Do Canadians have the same stereotypes of other countries as like Americans do? Because I got to admit, sometimes I feel like we do get a jaded lens of it's just like, oh no, I haven't met anyone or been there from a certain what have you, fill in the blank. But I've been told ... I mean,
no, we're like the same.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, America. It is a continent full of Caucasian people, so we're pretty much going to view things all the same. So, anywho. Yeah, that's the website. You go to us, find the About Us. There's our emails there and how to contact the team. We also got our other fellows, Shane, Nolan, and Blue Horseshoe. What's the Kiwi's name again? I didn't want to say Greg. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, don't say the wrong name, jackass. Just
Blue Horseshoe.
Call him Blue Horseshoe. And he does. Oh, and follow him at what's his? I don't have it handy right here. What's his Twitter handle? It's No. It's something like Better Than Most.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's at Better Than Most. Better Than Most 01, I think.
Okay, you keep looking it up right now, but I can tell people you can find him on our. He's a good follow. He's spot on with everything. You can look through our website and find him. And what do you got? You got him right there.
Better and Better One.
Better and Better One. That's what it is. Better. It wasn't Better Than Most. It's Better and Better One.
That's us, Craig. Way to make it easy on us.
And that's Blue Horseshoe. That's his name that he uses and his avatar. So, and then we got Nolan and we got Shane. Nolan's is like Nolan T. Nolan's is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, he made it easier. Nolan T. Smith.
I'm going to get everyone's memorized before I start making myself look more like an ass for our next episode. I'm starting to shout out poor ass promos.
All
right, buddy. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about, or should we wrap this up for everybody? I'm sure they're trying to get to work and they're tired of this.
No, we'll wrap it up, and we'll be back next week.
All right, good talking to you guys. Have a nice week, and stay in the fairway and be the ball. See you, Zach.